a special interview. You heard of WAKANNA. Well, we got WAKANNA, the first female black-owned CBD company in the Midwest. How are you ladies doing this morning?
Excellent. We are amazing.
Excited to be here in H-Town.
Yes.
Happy.
Blessed.
Coming off CBD, y'all need to be more excited.
Happy.
We got to get y'all up in here. How y'all?
And it's our 1 month anniversary.
Yes.
We just launched April 20th, so we are
You
excited.
freshly 30 days probation period win.
Yeah, we are winning too.
But I'm just gonna go around the table. First, I'm gonna start with Miss Melissa Boston. Tell us a little bit about you and how you got started.
Well, I actually got started in the cannabis space about 2 years ago. I was retired at the time, working a home-based business, but living my life residually, wasn't looking for any type of job. And I was actually contacted by an old mentor of mine asking me if I would be the CEO for a cannabis company he was running. So for 18 months, I did that. We took the company from $8,000 a month to $250,000 a month, and decided to launch our own company on April the 20th. So that's where we're at today.
You said that like it was just so smooth. Yeah, we had a quarter, then we turned it into $1 million. Like it was. But that's cool though. We're definitely gonna talk about that. I just want to get around the room so everybody can introduce themselves, so we can hear you guys and know who you are. Next, we have Senator Dr. Patricia Van Pelt.
Yes, I am a state senator out of Illinois, and I got introduced to the CBD from Dr. Rita, and I had been in a lot of pain for a long time. My mother as well had fibromyalgia. We started using the product, and I no longer had pain in my hips. And also my mom got her strength back, was able to go back and do the things she had been doing in the past. So I love Dr. Rita for introducing it to me, and I've been in here ever since.
The fact that you're a senator, I feel like that's a big step. Like to get a senator on the team, y'all done won already. It ain't no loss to the occasion. Next we have Dr. Rita McGuire.
That's me. Thank you so much. I'm an obstetrician gynecologist, and I was introduced to CBD by the CEO of WAKANNA, Melissa Boston. 2 years ago, she reached out to me and asked me if I would look at a company that markets CBD, and like most physicians, I had never heard of CBD. I did my due diligence, and when I really learned the amazing plant that gives so many medicinal as well as industrial uses, I was on board, because I have so many patients that have multiple chronic conditions and multiple medications that they're on, that we could really help these patients decrease or even alleviate a lot of the medications that they're on. So I'm excited because we are really helping people to get on the other side of knowledge, which is key about this plant and all of the medicinal properties that it holds.
Yes. First of all, we got a power team. Everybody just like, it's like a build on top, like Tetris. Like you got the sales, you got the doctor, you got the Next we got Miss Phyllis Nash.
Yes, that's me. I am the Senior VP of Sales, and I've known the CEO for the last 13 years. And when she became CEO of that former company, she called out to me, and when she calls, I come, because we've done great things together in the past. Started using the product, and my personal experience was going through menopause. Some things changed for a woman, and the thing that I got immediate relief on was sleeping like a baby. And when you sleep good, you can do anything, because you're repairing your body. But with that being said, when you share this with people, when they get healthy, then you think about everybody in the world that needs CBD, everybody needs it. And so I'm always that entrepreneur thinking about how you can make some money. So I'm the midwife of WAKANNA, because there are a lot of people out there that are pregnant with possibilities, and I'm here to help them fulfill them. After they get healthy, they can go get wealthy.
Hey, you need to say, come on, say that one more time. I gotta hear that. That was a ring. You get wealthy.
Yes.
Hey,
and it's our time. It's our time.
Yeah. So just the fact that I have all these people in here that get all of these questions. So how did you get away from the stigma of your professional jobs to get into the CBD field? Because you already know, like, so you gonna, all your friends and people, so you gonna stop to do that? I mean, it's maybe a little bit different in the Midwest than it is in the South, but.
It's the same. You know, I grew up in a very conservative family. I was the student vice president for students against drinking and driving, the DARE captain, very conservative family, and so yeah, cannabis was not the conversation at dinner time ever, other than don't do it. And so when I was initially approached, it was one of those things where I thought, never. But after I did my research and I started to learn, and that's the key, it's really helping people to unlearn what we learned that was incorrect. People are dying from opioids every day. How many people have ever overdosed on cannabis? No one. And it's saving so many lives.
Yeah,
So we've
paint
got
that
to
picture.
remove that stigma,
Yeah.
and it starts with education.
I definitely agree.
Yeah.
So like, far as doing like with CBD, like what is CBD? Like for a lot of people, they don't really know what CBD is. They just automatically assume, oh, that's marijuana. I don't want to deal with it. It has no benefits for me.
Absolutely. CBD is an abbreviation for cannabidiol, and it is the second most common compound that the cannabis plant makes. CBD can come from the hemp species of cannabis, which is, again, the non-psychoactive part, or it can come from the marijuana species, which again is the non-psychoactive part of the cannabis plant. And what we found is that CBD, unlike THC, doesn't give you the high, but what it does, it addresses so many issues that the body can have with inflammation, pain. CBD has been shown in over 22,000 peer-reviewed articles to assist in normalizing blood sugar, helping with tumors and cancer, seizures, epilepsy, anxiety, depression. You know, there was an article here in the USA Today that talks about the suicide rate in teenagers, in the millennials, has increased by 56% since 2006. And CBD, being a compound from the cannabis plant, can assist with depression, anxiety, can help with what Melissa talked about, the opioid epidemic that's causing over 130 deaths every single day. So this is a plant that can be used, this non-psychoactive portion, the portion that doesn't get you high, but the portion that gets you healthy. So that's what CBD is. I've been using CBD in my practice for the last 2 years and have had amazing testimonies from my patients and really helping people, like our CEO said, to get on the other side of knowledge, to unlearn those myths. CBD, again, has been coupled with cannabis and has been demonized since the 1930s. And as a community, we have to educate our people about CBD and the benefits, not only for our health, but also our wealth.
And like you said earlier, like you were a doctor before, and at first, like you went and you kind of got on the team a little bit later. So what really drove you into doing your own research to actually know what's actually going on with you?
You know, I've always been that type of physician when a patient or someone that I really respect, like Ms. Melissa Boston, when she brought the information to me, I've always been a physician to do my due diligence. I'm not one to tell my patient, no, you can't do this. And I really dug deep because physicians want to see more science. And there's a lot of science out there. There's 22,000 peer-reviewed articles on cannabis, on CBD, and on the medicinal effects that it has on the body. We know in 1990, which was unbeknownst to me, something called the endocannabinoid system was discovered. And this is a system that we all have. Every person has an endocannabinoid system, and this system keeps our body in balance. This system has receptors in our brain, in our central nervous system, in our periphery, in our immune system that is looking for CBD. It's looking for the components of the cannabis plant that puts our body into balance. And when our body sees these cannabinoids, when we take CBD oil in, it helps to decrease pain. It helps to decrease inflammation. It helps our mood improve. It helps any issues with the autoimmune system like lupus and fibromyalgia and Crohn's. It even helps women who have issues with recurrent miscarriages. There's receptors in our uterus, in our womb. So it's just an amazing amount of information that's out there that we are, as a company, we have a movement that we are determined to let the entire world know how this plant can help the body.
And Senator, Van Pelt, like, dealing, like, knowing that coming from a position, like, you obviously sit in on way more conversations and hear more things than we do. Like, why is it so much pushback on, when there's so much research out there that shows that it does what it does, it's helpful, it's not harming anybody? Like, why is there so much pushback coming from other states or other politicians, I would say, to pass those bills?
Well, one of the things I learned early on in being a state senator is you can somehow make a way for people to make money who've been making money, get on the front line of this issue, then they tend to have an easier way to become legal. Something like this will become legal because the people that are out front have they're in the right space to be able to bring the product to the market and make money. Well, CBD is like, I mean, it's everywhere. It's like the toothpaste is out the tube. Yeah. So, you know, they haven't been able to harness it, and they've been trying to figure out how do we harness this. So therefore, it's a lot of confusion in the air about what is legal, what is not legal, right? And you know, whenever you got chaos, that's just another form of control. But one of the reasons why I got into the business was because originally I got into office because of the over-incarceration of our community. And I realized that we have to break through, we have to find a way to break through all this negativity to be able to produce some type of lifestyle that's worth living in our communities. And CBD to me is one way, one opportunity that we have to get in front of this movement and be able to take advantage of the opportunities before they flow out into all the big guys out there. Young entrepreneurs can get involved with CBD and do wonders right now because everybody needs it. Every person needs it in their body.
Do you see any type of roadblocks pushing back just with people in the community? Because, you know, they, with certain things like, what's another artist, more the opioids, you know, people tend to act out of character once they're taken. Is there any like kind of, I guess, backlash thinking that the community and the population will start, I guess the crime rate will go up? Well,
you know, what I'm hearing is that 70% of the people in Chicago and Illinois have voted that they want marijuana to be legal. So the people that are saying things like, we had a hearing recently, a 3-hour hearing on it. People came in and said why they didn't support it. One of the reasons they said is because it causes erectile dysfunction. That's what they said. Now, people said, I've been smoking marijuana. And you go crazy and all those things. But see, the young people today, they don't believe all that stuff. When they told us, young, older people, they told us back in the 60s and 70s that it was terrible and it was going to kill us and all that. Young folks ain't on all that. They want to find out for themselves, and they know it's not like that. So I think this pushback we have is just people are laughing at it at this point.
I definitely agree because, like you said, I don't know nobody that had them type of problems doing any of that.
And they said it was permanent erectile dysfunction.
Permanent.
Right.
So you just know you messed up this one.
Yeah.
Nah,
they have so many lies like that out there, but I don't think people are buying it. Not today.
So Ms. Nash, how do you, like, you dealing with the sales and most things, like, how do you, like, because with Texas, when I see where you come, like, you can't get bank accounts, you can't, I guess, take online payments. So how do you get around, like, how can people get around that?
We have a system, and what we teach is a system of duplication. We grow organically. We have an opportunity for individuals to have ownership in our company. So therefore, you're your own merchant, and we do have a duplicatable system. And people out there looking for opportunity every day, they feel like they've reached the glass ceiling. And one thing we've all found in this company, or when you're talking about cannabis, you get their attention, whether it's positive or negative. But once we are able to educate, everybody wants to be a part. And everybody wants to have unlimited income potential. And this, by far, is the biggest income opportunity that we'll ever see in our community. So that's why WAKANNA was formed, because we're creating not a company. This is a movement. We're creating WAKANNA Nation, where Black people can have an ownership in this industry and be supported by other Black people. We're serious. I mean, this is the dream team, I'm just telling you, but our whole company is owners, one owner here, two, where they've been in other businesses before, they never had ownership. And so when you have ownership, it's a whole nother different pride system.
I can feel the magic.
Yeah,
when you're like, hey, we all own to get something done. Like, so how can people get in contact with you, like to be able to, like you say, get into the company to learn those things?
Well, we have 2 representatives here in Dallas, Houston, and you want them to give you their information. How do you want to do that, Ms. CEO?
Yes. We have a general 800 number for WAKANNA, but we definitely have local representatives who will be here to support the Houston market. Let's give you a number. Where's your number?
We can do it at the end. But Ms. I want to talk to you, like, just because I'm just reading on you about, like, you retired at 33. Most people can't do that. Like, for you to be able to put all your eggs in a basket, do everything that you love, and switch over to win and something else, like, besides cannabis, what was really the motivating factor for you to be like, you know what, I need to just go head in with this, build my team, educate everybody?
Yeah, well, back then, I was a single mom.
Mm-hmm.
And as a single mom, sometimes you work a lot. I was always told to go to school, get a great education, get a great job, and I did that. Had the company car, had the corner office. I was able to travel with my company, you know, making that income and living in the neighborhood I thought was the neighborhood I wanted to live in because I grew up in the projects. And so trying to give my son everything, what I realized is more than anything, kids want your time.
Definitely.
And one day he called me up and says, Mom, I'll never be 5 years old again. And I have no memories of you at the age of 5. And he started to cry. And that broke my heart.
This come from a 5-year-old?
This came from a 9-year-old.
Oh,
He was reflecting his life at 5 years old. And his life at 5 years old, he couldn't remember me. He could remember my mom, my grandmother, but he had no memories of me because I was working 80 hours a week just to make ends meet and to really give him that lifestyle. And so I really wanted to do something different. Being a shy person, I had to step out of the box. I had to learn to go out there and learn new skills. And so I was determined to own a business. I knew in owning a business, you can own your life. And so I was determined to break through my shyness, and I did that. I got great mentors, went out there and started in a travel industry. And the travel industry is what retired me. When I was 33 years old, I fired my boss, walked away from everything, and hadn't looked back. Never thought I would work another job. And now, in my 40s, got hired as a CEO for another company, but guess what? Fired that boss too. And we started our own company. So.
Like, it's definitely exciting, especially for you telling people like they can really get into this business, they can own a part of a company, like, because they all automatically they see that you need a lot of money to start anything. Is that true that you need at least a significant amount of money to start this?
Not at all.
Well, in Illinois, people have spent up to $10 million to get a dispensary, up to $10 million. And so, and they're still underwater in Illinois. The people who own the dispensary still have not made all their money back. That's why something like this, when we provide home-based opportunities for people to open up their own micro dispensary from their homes, and it's far more reasonable than $1 million. It's under $1,000, as a matter of fact. And to be able to get the health products that they need and their family needs, and be able to start building a business, and on top of get a chance to own part of WAKANNA. Because I'm not talking about owning it just because you have a dispensary. We share this company because we want 1,000 owners to be their own WAKANNA. So these ladies here that are from Houston, they are part owners of WAKANNA. And we could have just, us four could have just held on to this. It's our business, our company, we'll make the money, we'll let you make some. We said, no, we want you to own this thing. We want you to learn how to be formulators.
Yeah.
We want you to become investors. We want you to become entrepreneurs and building different kinds of products from hemp and cannabis. And so this is a dynamic, living company, and I am so excited to be a part of it.
Yeah, so we're talking about CBD. So let's just talk about CBD for a second. So it's full spectrum and broad spectrum, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So the full spectrum is the marijuana side.
The full spectrum is a whole plant. That means that we've used the other cannabinoids that the plant offers, like CBN and CBG and CBC and Delta-9 THC, whereas broad spectrum removes the THC. So the other cannabinoids that are non-psychoactive are involved in the broad spectrum. So that's a product very much like we have at WAKANNA, which is our nanotechnology that removes the THC but still has the same benefits of the other cannabinoids. So it's a great broad spectrum. It's a great product for patients and people and family members that may have random drug screens at their organizations and jobs and absolutely cannot have that 0.3% or less of THC in their system. So broad spectrum we have at WAKANNA, and our full spectrum we have at WAKANNA, and those are the differences that we see in those terms.
So the most questions that I have when I come is like, people want to know, I heard you can't fail a drug test off of this, and I constantly tell people that you can. If you're taking it over time, it's just constantly building up in your system for you possibly to
Well,
fail.
the research that I've done, which is extensive, shows that you would need large doses on a daily basis to have a positive drug screen on a full spectrum product.
So let's say like a full spectrum product, let's say it's like
1,000 milligrams or more a day. And it really does depend on how your body metabolizes CBD. The CBD is metabolized through the liver, so if your liver metabolizes different in me versus Phyllis, there's a possibility of having THC found in the urine. That's why a broad spectrum product is great for those people who have random drug screens at their organization.
So let's just say they got a full spectrum product that was less than 1,000. Let's say it's 375 milligrams.
There's still the possibility. There's still that possibility.
I just wanted to make sure I got it out there so everybody.
Still that possibility, even at low doses like 30 or 50 milligrams a day. There's that possibility, which is rare, that you could have a positive urine drug screen. So that's why we recommend the broad spectrum for that patient or that person.
Have y'all broken it down to any type of like levels, like maybe 375 to 1,000 works for anxiety, 1,000 up is for back pain, or 2,000 to this point is for?
Well, there's a lot of study through the Mayo Clinic that breaks it down like that. We do know when you're addressing conditions like glaucoma, 40 milligrams is really the highest dose that you should be using for glaucoma. Glaucoma is a disease of the eye where the pressure is very high, the optic nerve is inflamed, so you don't want to go any higher than 40. We see in a lot of inflammation, autoimmune conditions, you really don't need a lot of CBD. Really 20 to 30 milligrams is sufficient in most of those chronic illnesses. So
pretty much like a gummy bear would be perfect.
More is not better. That's why we believe in really educating our consumers about microdosing, given a little bit at a time until you reach resolution. We talk about using your BMI, your body weight, to kind of dose how much you need. Someone that weighs 25 pounds would need the same amount as someone that weighed 250 pounds. We educate so much our consumers about the different ways of consuming CBD. Gummies, edibles, water solubles. We have a great water soluble product that you can infuse your water, your beverages, your cocktails, your mocktails,
and it goes with any
your
beverage.
food, and you can put a couple of drops in those beverages and really be able to consume CBD that way, or using it as a tincture underneath your tongue.
What about alcohol? Can you put it in alcohol?
Yes, you can. We always have parties in
It actually
Chicago.
helps, doesn't it balance out?
It
some
really
of the
balances out, so
It makes it healthier.
So is it like a certain, one that you need for alcohol? Like
Water soluble. So you don't want to put oil in a liquid, it doesn't mix. So our water soluble is great for cocktails and mocktails and water and food. And then we have one for baking. We have a culinary oil, a CBD oil for your brownies, for your cookies, for your cake. So it's really exciting what you can do with our products.
And let me say that also what I've learned is that sometimes when people may take CBD one day and they say it doesn't work because they're not free of pain yet. Just need a few days.
I tell them about at least a week to get your body used to it for it to keep running in.
Right.
Cause CBD is big.
Yes.
Like it's so much. Like my brain over here is just like fried. I'm like, what's next?
Right.
Like what's next? So
Hemp weave.
For your hair.
For your hair, making.
Okay, now what is that gonna do? What is that gonna do?
Hempcrete.
Yes,
Just using
hempcrete,
the hemp plant.
concrete. There's so many uses for this plant.
What is hemp weave gonna do?
For your weave, for your hair. So it's much healthier than using this synthetic hair that's on top of my
But it's not
hair.
attached to your body. It's not.
Maybe not for medicinal purposes, but if you're gonna wear a weave, why not wear a hemp weave?
Right. A healthy weave.
I don't know, y'all. Y'all was giving me hemp weave.
It's a girl thing.
I'm gonna say, got it. See, I'm over here lost. I'm like, hemp weave, come on, y'all.
Oh, it's not
Look,
bad.
everybody looking at me like, what's wrong with him, please?
I know, right? They're ready to get one.
No, but what do you recommend, like for a starter product? Like, should they start off with a tincture or water soluble? Should they kind of maybe start off with the flower, kind of see how it benefits them?
Well, we recommend that you start low and you start slow when you're introducing CBD. It depends on your preference. So if there's a person that really doesn't like holding an oil underneath their tongue for a minute for it to be absorbed in the bloodstream, then offer them a water soluble. We also have vape pens.
Mhm.
So if you like to vape, that's a great way of getting CBD into the bloodstream very fast. Within 30 to 60 seconds, you can feel the effects of vaping CBD oil. So it depends on the consumer, what they like. They may like topicals. A lot of our senior citizens want to rub
Yeah, the
CBD
topicals do work.
on their sore joints and muscles. So
So from y'all knowledge, do you feel like any product works a little bit better than the other? Like, I feel like a tincture is one of the best.
You know, I had the biggest effect I've had has been with those gummies. Those gummies, yes.
She said, "Okay."
They just hit me like, I don't know, like a ton of bricks. In other words, I'm saying, I feel it almost immediately. You know,
Yeah.
like within about, 30 minutes or so, but it completely wipes out all my pain, wipes out all my anxiety. It's not over a period of time, it's just like that.
I've taken edibles and they don't do nothing.
They have to try out. Yeah, here's the challenge. A lot of people coat their edible. They don't actually infuse it into where the cannabinoids are preserved.
So
So
all
the
the
light
extra
breaks
sugar
it down and everything breaks it down. So when you do it properly and you do the right balance, and it's a full spectrum gummy. Most people have isolate gummies. So if you're buying gummies right now for your shop, I would tell you probably 90% of them are isolate. They're not full spectrum. Ours are completely full spectrum. They have a little bit of THC, and they are extraordinary.
Yes.
So it looks like you need some Wakanda gummies at your shop.
Hey, I actually do, because I'm thinking about like all the gummies I see are coated, like you said,
Yes.
all the extra
They
sugar
spray it.
things on
They
it,
spray
everything.
CBD on it.
Yeah, these are infused, and I'm telling
And
you.
Not
all
all-
natural vegan gummies. Most gummies are pork.
See, now you talking people language. You heard
Right.
vegan, okay, we tuned in now. Vegan.
definitely we
Yes.
found in our 2-year experience that not all CBD is created equally.
That was gonna be my next question.
So
How
many
could you tell the
different,
difference?
yeah, so you want to make sure that you're looking at a product that's full spectrum,
Mhm.
a product that is sourced from an organic soil. U.S. soil is a great source from CBD. You want to make sure that the product is third-party validated to ensure the purity of the product, the compounds, and the fact that it is a full spectrum product. And you want to make sure that the product is manufactured in a facility that has the same stringent compliance laws as an FDA approved. That's a GMP certified facility. So you want to make sure that that CBD comes from a reputable source, a reputable farm, that it is organic, full spectrum, and that you are really able to see a company that's transparent, that's going to share with you those certificates of analysis and ensuring that you're getting a pure product. Because what you don't want is a product that has pesticides and heavy metals and other solvents that are not supposed to be in a product that could be harmful.
So,
I think the key word she's using is reputable, because I've
Yeah.
seen companies that say, we got full spectrum and we have
Yeah,
this
ain't
and
no
that,
full
and there's nothing in it,
I agree.
nothing in it.
I
So you
definitely-
need to get with a company that you know is gonna, that's one reason why I'm with these ladies. As a state senator, it's got to be what it says it is, because if it's not, then we'll find out.
so y'all look at me as a blind customer. I come in, I grab one of your products. What are some key things that I need to look for on the actual description that I know that I'm getting a good product? Or do I need to just go to Google, look at the name, go to Google and research, like, okay, I see good reviews, I should go with this?
You mean for our company?
No, just in
product?
general, like what should anybody go in and look at? Like if
First,
they
you
pick up a
don't want an
product,
isolate.
you don't want to
You don't want an isolate, you want full spectrum, broad spectrum. Organic, it might not be at USDA because in the US you have to have 7 years and it hasn't been grown, but you want to know that they use no pesticides, there's no mold or mildew, third-party testing.
Okay, so let's just say like Most because they not gonna know exactly what to look for. They can ask, and people really not. They can just say whatever. Like, how do they know what to trust? Because it's so many people that say it that it doesn't have it. But
It's simple, they can just ask for WAKANNA.
Right.
she like just sit like,
I think
Yeah,
that's
just
the
sit
strength
there.
of our business model. Our business model is that we rely on our customers to tell our story.
Mhm.
The reason why we're in Houston, they had a chance to try our product, love our product, now they share it with their network.
Mhm.
So you're trusting the person who you know, and maybe it's your sister, your brother, who you can trust them. If they had a good experience, chances are you might have a good experience as well.
so why not an isolate? I heard you say don't do an isolate. So why not an isolate?
So an isolate only contains CBD, whereas a full spectrum uses the other compounds in the
Mhm.
plant, the whole plant, as well as the terpenes, flavonoids, the other essential fatty acids that the whole plant avails itself to, that on a cellular level gives us what we call an entourage effect. The entourage effect is an effect that causes on a cellular level the responses that you're looking for. Decrease in pain, decrease in inflammation, decrease in anxiety, decrease in convulsions or epilepsy. So you're looking for a full spectrum, not an isolate, because just think about it. CBD alone versus CBD and CBN and CBG and CBC and Delta-9 THC, you see a much more powerful effect when we have the whole plant working together.
So are all those in THC?
And THC, 0.3% or less of THC.
Because only reason why I say that because I don't know anything. Just like those the CNAs and the CB, they be looking like what is CNA, what is
So
CB?
that's the whole plant. The cannabinoid has the cannabis plant has over 100 compounds that has been discovered to date.
Mhm.
And so you want to get as much as that whole plant in a product versus just one compound in a product.
Mhm.
And we're seeing that isolates are not as effective as a full spectrum. That's why you run into people and they'll say CBD doesn't work, and when you question them, you'll find out that they have used a isolate in the past.
And even that's the commercialization part where people get information about CBD, so manufacturers know they can cheapen the product and make more money by just selling you the CBD, and that's what they were doing. And now they're even realizing it doesn't work as good as the full spectrum products, but they have all the CBD to sell. They're gonna sell you the isolate, but it's not the best choice.
Because I always wonder why people got isolate. Because people
Yeah.
will call and just let me just get an isolate. They were like, oh, it's pure CBD. I'm like, but I don't feel like it's just pure CBD.
That's all they were educated on. No one told them about CBD or CBC, CBG. Now you're hearing these conversations and you're like, what are those? They're just as important as the CBD because they work synergistically if you're gonna get the best medicinal effect.
And one of the things I can say about WAKANNA is that we educate. And you know, we have weekly calls, 2 calls a week, where people can actually feel educated. And even if they don't end up buying our product, and I don't know why they wouldn't, they will know what to look for when Dr. Rita educates them. And that's our platform. First to educate, and then why not try WAKANNA? Because we have given you something to deal with, something you didn't know, you know.
Yeah. If you listening right now, and you ain't on the CBD board, something is wrong with you. Because I'm just like, it's so many benefits just going, just looking from everybody. Like Whoopi Goldberg coming up with a product line, like y'all doing a product line, like everybody's switching over to this, and it's still such a stigma for marijuana.
Well, millions of minorities' lives have been destroyed because of marijuana. We are 7 times more likely to be targeted. If you look in the city of Chicago, 86%, that's the percentage of people that are arrested for marijuana and convicted happen to be African American men. But if you look at who owns now all the canopy, which is the grow houses, it's Caucasian wealthy men. So here we are, we've paid the price for the last 3 decades because of the war on drugs. Now that the legalization is here, guess what? We're scared. We're not showing up at the table. So WAKANNA is also meant to empower our community that it's our turn, not just our turn. We want everyone who hears our voice to say, let's own a piece of WAKANNA. Let's be a part of something that we all can actually be involved in this great transformation of wealth. Because the Wharton School of Business, they're studying cannabis. These Ivy League schools, right, are studying cannabis, while we are still being arrested every day. You see, even in Texas, they're arresting people for CBD.
Oh yeah, you going.
I mean, it's unreal, right? And that's what they want to keep us in fear,
Mhm.
because they want to control it. But we have to say it's our turn, it's our time, and we're here to empower you to jump on this with us.
So with the whole, just to kind of give people like a little bit of information, like with the cops stopping people, let's just say you get started with CBD and you have all your analysts. You pull out, this is exactly what it is, you know what I mean, right here. I mean, I don't know, y'all not the law, don't know anything, but can they take that as a value, like, okay, this is what this is, or do they still have to take you and go through the process?
Well, right now, according to the federal government, CBD is legal all over the country.
Mhm.
Texas and Florida seem to be working their things out. We don't know how or why.
Yeah.
Because the federal government, the federal law supersedes state laws.
Mhm.
So I was told just recently that they, both the House and the Senate had signed, passed a bill, but it's waiting for the governor to sign. Is that Governor
Yeah.
Abbott? Yeah.
No, he's not gonna sign.
Okay.
He's already said that plenty of times.
Okay, so that's why we have to change it by calling him and letting him know. People need to call him. Don't accept what he says. He said he's not gonna change it because he doesn't have pressure. Believe me, when we get pressure, we respond. So, and it's supposed to be laws, and plus they can override them anyway.
A lot of people don't know how to apply pressure.
Yeah, call. You call his office and say, we wanna know why you don't have CBD. Why you not sign the CBD law? Well, CBD helps me and my children. Well, why aren't you signing? When are you gonna sign it? And, you know, and we go places, what I used to do, I would go wherever he is and have my sign. Why aren't you signing the CBD? You know, have a sign up here. Why aren't you signing the CBD bill? You have to get pressure on him. You have to make him know. And also your legislators. Who's your House of Representatives? Who's your senator? Don't let them tell you, oh, we already passed, it's up to him. No, it's up to you, because you can stop the governor from getting what he wants if you don't give him, if he doesn't give us what we want.
You sure y'all wanna come to Texas?
We need her.
I'm doing my struggles in
We can
Illinois.
play 6 months and 6 months.
Think about it.
But no, let's talk about your event that you have tonight. So it's at the Hampton Inn, Houston, I-10 Central, 5820 Katy Freeway at Washington. You know, it starts at 7:30, and you're gonna be educating people on CBD.
Yes, it's a focus group.
Mhm.
We are what we call the 4 pillars of WAKANNA. Dr. Rita will be there to teach you all about health. Senator Pat, actually, Dr. Pat, will be there to teach us about wealth. We have something called WAKANNA University, where we are a source for education regarding cannabis and wealth creation, and so she leads that pillar if you want to learn about even investing in cannabis and so many other areas. Then we have myself, I'm the legacy pillar. What we really want to do is help empower our future generations. How do we not just create wealth, but leave something so that we can have something for our children's children? And then we have Phyllis, who is our pillar of freedom. She's going to tell you how you can jump in the dispensary business today for less than $1,000. Is that pretty cool?
Less than $1,000.
Yes.
Say that again.
Yes.
Yeah, and that includes a whole host of products as well.
Yeah.
Not just getting the, just
You're ready to make money.
Not just a license from us to do this dispensary, but also $2,000, about $2,000 in products.
A lot of y'all spend $2,000 on beer and alcohol. So why not invest $1,000 in yourself
That's
to
right.
make more money?
That's right, and change your future for your generations to come.
Oh, it's definitely gonna change the future. Because if my grandma was any like y'all, my future definitely would have been changed. Like,
Bring her tonight.
well,
Hey, we have seniors, I'm telling you, they break the door down coming.
but see, that's the thing people don't like. I don't like. For as on, I'm gonna just say some black people for the girl. What? I'm not doing none of that. You know.
But
like,
that's the education part, because we have them come to our focus groups and they sit up there like that. Then we start talking and they start releasing that, you know, and start listening. We gotta do that. We've got to tell her you're taking her out to dinner if she goes to this
I lose
meeting.
every time I'm talking to my grandma. She
Yeah,
start talking about God, and I be like, Amen. I'm
Topicals.
sorry.
I gave my grandmother, who's topical.
Mm.
Let her try the topical. They'll usually rub something on their knee that's in pain, and we okay with that. And anyone who has to take drug testing, the topicals don't cross the blood-brain barrier, so they can take a topical with a little THC and not fail a drug test.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
When they first come into our focus group, we ask the room, is there anybody in here with pain? If you're in pain, you want to get out of pain. Hands go up, young, old, in between.
Let's turn you into a believer right now.
Right, and we put some of that topical by the end of that event, they're in.
See, that's what we do. We have tested product. Like, just come in, put on your little tested product. By the time you leave, you're gonna be good.
Right.
And it works.
Yes, it works.
It works. But before we get up out of here, can anybody get it? Like, if they miss this event, can they get it like online, like an online seminar, or get in contact with you? Okay, so before we could just give out the information for like where people can get in contact with you and learn more information.
Well, right now, just a general overview. If you go to wakanna.com, you can just learn information. It's not a site where you can purchase anything. It's more of a corporate site. That you'll get through one of our local contacts.
Right, and because we really focused on home-based businesses, helping people be able to do it from their own homes. So the young lady that you have, I guess you have a card now?
Yes, I have a card.
Go ahead.
I have here Ms. Drina Light and Dr. Rosalind Shaw Belt. Correct. She's here in Houston. Her phone number. Can I put your phone number? Her phone number is 832-297-3457. Again, that's 832-297-3457. It's Dr. Rosalind Shaw Belt. She's one of the representatives for WAKANNA. She can take care of all your needs. You can email her if you would like as dreamthelife2009@gmail.com. Also, she has a website at www.benefitsyoucanafford.com.
Excellent.
Right. So, do y'all have a web? But does WAKANNA have a website itself?
Wakanna.com. And that's 2 N's. WAKANNA.
Okay. And it's been a great, love the interview. I definitely wish I could talk to y'all for like an hour, 2 hours, but I know you got other things you have to do. Can you please, if you can, give out your social media information for people if they can find you or just look you up and just follow you?
Absolutely. So all of our handles, whether it's Twitter or Facebook, is WAKANNA for Life. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
Again, that's WAKANNA for Life. The number 4.
F-O-R.
Oh, F-O-R.
Yeah.
For Life.
WAKANNA for Life.
For Life.
And if we have a group on Facebook, also you can look us up under our group page, and that's WAKANNA for Life as well.
Okay. Well, thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you, ladies, for coming in.
Thank you for
Thanks for
having us.
having us.
Great interview. I
Yes.
loved it. Again, you're listening to 92 KELZ. We finna be out this thing. Make sure you check out our sponsors and listen, and we'll get with y'all next week.